Welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, where we keep you up to date with everything going on in the ColdFusion community. We'll share the latest news on events, releases to engines, frameworks, libraries, and tools, as well as spotlighting quality content from the community. Welcome to another Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition. It's June 2nd, 2020. And Eric, long time no see.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, we missed you. This is Eric Peterson, software consultant for Ortus Solutions, and I'm Gavin Pickin, a software consultant for Ortus Solutions. So first, we just want to thank our sponsors, Ortus Solutions, obviously the makers of all the favorite box products. And right now, we actually have some live virtual workshops that are going on, so you can support Ortus for supporting us by doing some live virtual workshops. The first one is this week, which I'll be doing the ColdBox Zero to Hero, and then in a couple of weeks' time, Luis will be doing his Hero to Superhero API edition, and we have other workshops coming up announced in the future. And you can also support us by using CFCast, right, Eric?
That's right. CFCast is up as well. If you had a ticket to Into the Box, you should have received an email with access. And we have some other fun news that we'll get to later about CFCasts.
Yep. And then we also want to thank our Patreon supporters that help make this podcast possible. And right now we're almost 50% fully funded for our podcast. So Patreon is taking half of the support from Ortus, so we really appreciate that. And our newest supporter is Charlie Earhart. So thank you, Charlie, for that. I appreciate it. And obviously, if you want to learn more, you can go to patreon.com/Ortus Solutions and find out a little more about our packages and what the money goes towards and everything else. So we really appreciate your support. Okay, well, let's get into the news. So we got a few releases this week. The first one is ForgeBox 5.1 was released. So a minor release for ForgeBox suite of products, but quite a lot of updates in that. And we've been doing a lot of work with ForgeBox lately, and it really shows. So.
Yeah, the team has really been polishing it, and you can check out the blog post on the Ortus blog to see all the fixes and improvements and quality of life things that they added for us.
Yeah, so here we got like about 8 bugs were fixed. It looks like 8 new features and about 10 improvements. So it's a pretty big for a minor release. So nice to see that out there. So and that does actually work for the community version of ForgeBox. If anyone is using the enterprise versions or any other versions of ForgeBox too, you'll get that available as well. So it works for all the plans, which is kind of nice. We also had a Commandbox 5.1.1 release, basically a patch version after last week's 5.1.0. So a few of you Mac users out there might have had an issue starting up ColdFusion servers. Apparently Mac OS was not a valid OS system.
And I believe it was specifically with Lucy servers as well.
Yeah, so I don't know why Brad did not do it. It wasn't because he hates Macs, don't worry. But there was some...
Though he does.
Yeah. But basically there was something amiss there, and several people using macOS weren't able to start Lucy servers. So they've released that, so 5.1.1 is out. You can go grab that. And we have a short blog post on that one as well. And it looked like they maybe snuck a couple other little things in here too. So
yeah.
A couple other little bugs. And this improvement, which I think is pretty cool. So go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, especially if you're using our Docker images, the verbose flag on starting the server will now give you a lot of information about the server starting up, including the CF engine it's getting, why you're getting that engine, and there's been some confusion of that. But it won't do a debug logging of all the requests, so you can have the verbose information when you start the server, but not for every request that comes in. So that's nice, and I know that's coming into our Commandbox images, Docker images, very soon.
Yeah, I think John said he's going to work on that today or tomorrow, so hopefully those will get done and pushed out pretty soon. So yeah, that's pretty important, because you don't want logging of everything like crazy debug logs, but when you're starting up, usually a little more information there is useful. So very cool. Okay, well, this one's in your court. Quick 3.1.0 was released.
Yeah, again, just a little minor feature and then some bug fixes. Basically, I was working on an app and I wanted to automatically convert a string in the database to JSON, structs and arrays in ColdFusion. So there's a new JSON cast component, works great, and just a few other minor compatibility things. It's ready for ColdBox 6 when ColdBox 6 launches, things like that. So
very cool. Okay, well, if they want to find out more, there's a link to quick.ortusbooks.com, and there's the What's New 3.1, which talks about that. And there's also all the other little releases in there too. It's kind of neat to see the changelog going on. So,
yeah, we try
cool.
to keep that one very up to date for you.
Yeah, it's not like a major like framework, so we can usually roll things out a little faster in our modules. And so, as Brad mentions, quick releases every time Eric wakes up. Okay, we also wanted to make an announcement that Ortus is now an Adobe Trusted Development Partner, and so Adobe has a new page on their website, and Ortus is included on that, and so we'll show you this here. But basically, this is joining forces to build better applications, and so they have TechServant, Lucid Outsourcing Solutions, which is a few of the members are supporters of us, especially your guest, Mr. Which Ortus Solutions is there, and we've also got a couple other Microsoft, Coalescent Solutions, TechFriend Consulting. So they've listed several of their supporters and trusted development partners. So as it states here, our trusted development partners are committed to finding simple solutions for complex problems and deploying high-quality IT services. Their solid expertise, coupled with the diverse features offered by Adobe ColdFusion, has helped these companies build secure and high-performing web applications for clients across the globe. So it was nice to get a little recognition there from Adobe for our work, and like I said, there's a lot of great developers listed there. So congrats to everyone who made that list there. So very cool. We also saw that the Adobe Developer Week from a couple of weeks ago, they sent out emails to everyone who registered, and basically if you registered you get all the information, but in that they actually sent a link with all the videos, all the slides for those videos, and so if you're looking for those videos, check your email if you're registered. If you haven't, they still allow you to register now, so if you register you may receive those retrospectively, so or retroactively. So maybe register there or ask someone who registered and they can send you that email. But there's all those 10 sessions which were great, and also at the bottom they were asking for people who are interested in taking the CF certification online. So it looks like they're moving that online at last. I know they were hoping to have it at CF Summit East, and if CF Summit West doesn't happen, this will at least allow people to get that certification. So that's really nice to see them moving forward with that. I know that's a big product and a lot of demand for that right now too.
Right.
Cool. Well, in case you missed it, we had a webinar last week, CBSecurity. So I know that you actually attended this and had some thoughts about it. You want to tell us what you thought of it?
Yeah, so CBSecurity is our module that handles authorization. So if somebody's allowed to access a certain site, it also bundles in authentication and even some JSON Web Token goodness in it. So Luis took us through all the different features of CBSecurity and how to get it set up. And it was really good. It was good for me to watch. I haven't done much with CBSecurity, funny enough. I have a similar library I've been developing called CBGuard. And, well, the webinar was enough to convince me that it probably should be combined and retired. So, Luis, you won this one. We'll do it. We'll combine them.
Yeah, so CBSecurity obviously uses CBAuth as well and a few other modules to do what it needs to do. And so a lot of the stuff Eric was already using, like the Quick Will Auth, already does a lot of the, has CBAuth in there. And yeah, CBSecurity just sort of did what CBGuard did without actually including the module. But it's got a lot of good features in it, and it's definitely like a comprehensive security package. So if we can keep one package with all the features and maybe just toggle on and off, what you want to use, it'd be good going forward. Especially with the JWT stuff, a lot of people are really interested in that, and that's the perfect thing to learn about at the Hero to Superhero API Edition workshop in a
All
couple of
right.
weeks here. I'll be going through CBSecurity and using the JWT pieces of it and everything, so definitely good. But you can check that out, and as Eric shared on the link, the video is already up on cfcast.com under the webinar series, so really cool to see. So speaking of CFcast and that video being up there, I heard you put some more content up there just recently.
Yeah, so in addition to that webinar, you can go and view all of the webinars for 2020 so far and view them for free on CFcast. You just need to sign up for a free account. So you have Luis's webinar on CBSecurity, the last one with Brad on Commandbox, and it goes down the list. So all of
Very
those are
cool.
available for free over on CFcast.
Yep, so they are free. Just get registered for your free account and you can check them out. So yeah, there's a lot of good content here, and we're going to be adding more and more all the time. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this up and running, and I know Luis and the team have given me a list of videos that they want me to start producing too, so I'm going to start getting some content out there as well. So we're going to
Awesome.
build it up. Very cool. Okay. We also have a reminder just for the CF State of the Union, State of the CF Union survey. It's still available on TerraTech. I'm going to actually click on it right now and just see if there's a date for deadlines, because I wonder if it's going to keep going. It's still available. So I'm going to share that link in the chat, and it's in the show notes as well. But go tell us what products you're using, what versions of servers, are you using testing or not, and just all that information is really useful for a lot of the framework developers and even the engines themselves to know what to support and keep supporting, and what features are available or should be kept available. So really appreciate your feedback there. And like I said, we use it at Ortus, and I know a lot of other people do too. And it's just fun to go check out the numbers and see what's happening. Like I keep hearing stories of people running CF4 and stuff like that, and I think at the Adobe Developer Week, someone was asking about how to upgrade from CF4 to CF18, and we're like, delete and restart. I'm not even sure what servers still support that. I mean, that was almost floppy disk time, like that was that long ago. So, crazy. Okay. Well, that's it for our news. Let's jump into the conferences.
Yeah, so last week there was a couple virtual conferences. One of them was DockerCon. They had a one-day conference online for free. Did you get to watch any of those, Gavin?
Yeah, I watched some of it, and the great thing about this is it's all available online. They had like 4 or 5 different sessions going at once, and they had a lot of good content. But it's all recorded, and everything that wasn't, sort of in-person on demand, in-person live that you couldn't do later is being re-released at docker.com/DockerCon. There was a lot of good content. I know Charlie was tweeting about some of those things with like how to get started with Docker, and they had some different things on Swarm and Kubernetes, and they had just a lot of interesting things, and some of the case studies and interviews were really good too. So I've watched some of it, and I hope to catch up on the rest, because it was a pretty busy day. I mean, like I said, 5 tracks, you can't see it all, but it's all up there, so find the pieces you want and go check it out. And so we'll share that link here as well, but just to show you what I mean by a lot of content, these are all the sessions that they had. So as you see, there's multiple channels all day long. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. So definitely go check it out. And there were some deals running, so I'm still not sure if they're available, but Brett Fisher is one of my favorite Docker captains. I actually met him at DockerCon a few years ago, and he was doing discounts on all his Docker courses. So he actually was running the Captains on Deck channel there, where basically he had different Docker captains in and talking about different topics every hour. So he was basically live for like 6 hours, and then the next day he still went live again with his normal show. So he's got a lot of great content, and definitely recommend checking him out. And he still may have those discounts available, so they're great Docker courses. We definitely recommend them. So
yeah, that's Brett Fisher's courses on Udemy.
Correct. Yep.
They're really great. I'm a little jealous here of the synergy Docker gets to calling all their developer experience advocates captains.
Yeah.
Like, I want a cool term like that for us box people, but I don't know what you'd call us. Squares? I don't know.
Yeah. I know
We need something.
they got some pretty cool names and conventions with the whole .com thing. So, yeah. The ships, all their named whales and everything. And that was one of the coolest things when we went to the Docker conference a couple of years ago. They had like a life-size Docker whale hanging from the ceiling. It was pretty huge. It's pretty cool. So apparently David says you're a boxer, or Charlie says you can be packers.
Packers, shippers,
Yeah.
boxers.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, shippers. Yeah. But Brad says the module meister is not good enough for you, Eric.
Yeah, but we need like a generic term for all of us. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So yeah, that was a lot of fun last week, and then obviously I mentioned earlier the Adobe Developer Week videos are available. You do have to register to get those links, but also all the Microsoft Build videos are available, and a lot of great content there too. So if you go to MS Build, I believe, .mic's, all those videos are there as well. So it's a lot of great content to catch up on if you missed them. Okay, so as we mentioned, in Into the Box 2020, we skipped our workshops, but we're providing them now. So this week, June 4th and 5th, the ColdFusion Zero to Hero, that is the training I will be leading. So it'll be virtual online. You still have a couple more days to sign up. If you go to ortussolutions.com/events, you can click the link to go register. And the price is $8.99, but there is a discount. If you use Podcast 10, you'll get 10% off. And if you're a Into the Box attendee, you actually get a 15% off discount. So if you guys didn't get that code emailed to you, reach out to us and we can get that for you as well. But that way you can save a little bit on the workshop. And then in 2 weeks' time, Luis will be doing ColdFusion Hero to Superhero API Edition, and that's June 18th and 19th. And again, that'll be the same 2-day session. And then we have a lot of other great workshops. I know the quick workshop that you were working on had to be postponed, but it will be coming. So watch out for those dates very soon. And then we have a lot of great content. We have Testbox, and Charlie also mentioned he might be willing to do his workshop as well. So we'll be talking to him and get some dates scheduled as well. So yeah, so lots of great workshops coming to you soon. And then the first one again this week, Thursday, Friday. So those of you registered, I'll see you there. Okay. CF Summit West, we're still waiting on confirmation there. We haven't heard anything official yet. So, and CF Camp.
And same for CF Camp.
Just waiting and waiting. Okay. So next on our list, let's get to some blogs, tweets, and videos of the week.
Yeah. Well, the first one, of course, is from Ben Nadal. So.
Yep.
This one's about the mid function, and on Lucy. He's on Lucy 5.3.4. Mid can return, does not throw an exception if you go out of bounds. For instance, if you had a 5-character string and you started at 3 and said grab 100 characters, it would just grab the last 3 characters and be done. So that was interesting. I don't know if I've ever tried that. I've always done like the painstaking, all right, let's calculate how long the string is and minus this, and so
yep, exactly.
It's kind of a nice trick.
Yeah, and so even if you ask for 0 characters, it'll still give you an empty string, which before that used to blow up as well. So
and I don't know if he tested it, but it does work in ColdFusion 2018 as well. So
very cool.
It's a nice quality of life improvement for those of us on the upgrade path.
Yeah, it's one of those things. That you've probably hurt yourself a few times. You got a lot of extra code trying to check for those out of bounds, and now it just works. So it's kind of neat. Cool. And then we had another one from Fusion Reactor, and this one here is kind of sad. End of a life on a product. But it does make sense. So Fusion Analytics is one of their long-living products. It's basically took the logs from Fusion Reactor. So Fusion Reactor usually works for the last restart or 24 hours for the traditional version, and I believe the cloud stuff lasts a little longer. But previously what you did is you have Fusion Reactor storing all the logs somewhere, and you'd use something like Fusion Analytics to actually take those logs and look at them and do more trends and do more fancy stuff. but they're basically ending their product December 2020. So at the end of the year. And one of the main reasons, to be honest, is that Adobe will stop updating the Flash player at the end of 2020, and its majority of the work was done in Flash. And so instead of completely rewriting the product to not use Flash for security reasons, they just decided to sunset it. And
Fusion Reactor also has their cloud replacement. So
Yep.
Fusion Reactor Cloud, which has a lot of the features that you might have been looking for in Fusion Analytics, and their blog posts invites those who are currently using Fusion Analytics to have to evaluate Fusion Reactor Cloud with a free trial account.
Yep. And we use Fusion Reactor Cloud with a lot of clients. It's really helpful with some of the Docker clients, especially because the servers pop up and down so fast sometimes. You can't keep track of all the logs, so it puts them all together, and if you've got a cluster, it'll combine them as well, so you can see them in combined or separate.
Yeah.
So
it's especially nice when you've done something to mess up your Docker container and the health check kills it and over again, and you're like, I don't have a container I can get into.
Yep. And as Charlie mentioned too, the archive metrics feature, which I think was released in 7.2, basically gave you some of the nice graphical interfaces for getting to your logs. So it really did, diminish the need for the Fusion Analytics product. So it's good to see it's evolving, but again, it's sort of sad to see a product ending. It's been around for almost 10 years. But also kind of strange to see Flash finally died after all this time. So.
Right. I mean, it's been a long death. If you consider the iPhone being the beginning of the death of Flash, it's been 13 years.
Yeah.
So.
And then the funny thing is I still get prompts for saying, hey, you need Flash for this. So I'm wondering how many sites are going to have to change up, or, how many of those bad Flash site security problems are going to stick around. So.
Right.
Interesting.
I guess that's a lesson, especially for us in the ColdFusion space, where everybody likes to tell us our product is dead. Is Flash was dead for 13 years. So.
Yep.
Who knows how long ColdFusion's going to be, quote, dead for.
Yep. Cool. We also have that blog post about ForgeBox 5.1, which we'll just share in the show notes in the chat. And then Commandbox 5.1 as well. Then next we actually have a little annual day that we missed yesterday. Did you know about this one, Eric? I've seen this in previous years.
So I saw this blog post, again from Ben, and I was hoping you could tell me why June 1st is Regular Expression Day.
To be honest, I don't even know. I remember, like I said, it's been 13 years since he decided to start celebrating regex. But yeah, basically, because regex has been around for a long time. But he has a link here to check out a video and slide presentation on regular expressions and how they're extraordinarily powerful. But yeah, so it's basically one of those things that I don't know if he started or a group of people started it, but it just happened. So yeah.
Well, it looks like I'm just on his blog, and underneath there's this enjoy this, you might also enjoy, and he has all of the different regular expression days.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe we could figure out what it is down there.
Yeah, let's see. June 1st. Let's go back to an old one.
Oh yeah, he's announcing it. So this is a national holiday from Ben. Sunday, June 1st, 2008 was the first one. Here, I'll put that blog post in.
That's funny.
That's funny. Regular expressions are pretty amazing. They are pretty confusing at the same time. I've definitely had to do a couple courses to get it kind of through my head. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's one of those things though too. Is even with tools like regexer and everything, sometimes I'm like, it's working. Nope, it's not working. And I can see what I want, and I just get lost sometimes. But yeah, because I know little things with continuous integration, we passed code coverage out of reports and stuff, and depending on the module, you'll pull out a different piece of stuff, and I swear that different formats really throw me sometimes, and I love it. Right. It's powerful, but yeah, it's sometimes people say if you got a problem, you grab regex, and then you have two problems.
Now you have two problems, yeah. Well, I for one can't write a regular expression without my nifty tool here. I just pasted it in the chat called regexer. It's a website that you can put a bunch of text in, put in your expression and see what actually is matching and getting captured.
Yeah.
You can even do replacement things and see them right in line, because it is kind of soul crushing to try to do that on a CF server and keep changing and refreshing and changing and refreshing and changing and refreshing.
Yeah, but as Charlie mentions too, it doesn't help that there's all these different versions and syntaxes and slight changes, and that's true.
Right.
And Ben actually put a blog post out the other day saying if you don't like Adobe ColdFusion's regex engine, you can basically change a variable, and then you can use Java's underlying regex tool, which gives you a lot more power.
I think Ben, even before he found that in Lucy, had written a wrapper around Java's regex, because if you do anything more complicated with like capture groups, you'll find that ColdFusion isn't as powerful. So
yeah, it's good for simple matching.
For you.
Yeah, it's great for simple matching and everything, but when you start doing, like I said, groups and reverse lookups and all sorts of funny stuff, it does get a little out of hand. Cool. Well, you also have another one. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say happy regular expression day.
Yeah. Okay, well, we also have a blog post from Brian Class, and this is part of his Beyond the Basics of using AWS3 in CFML. And so this one talks about encrypting objects at rest in S3. And so he actually links to his presentation from Adobe ColdFusion Summit 2019. So if you guys want to learn more about IAM, I definitely recommend that. But it talks about what should you do if someone steals one of your logins. How can you protect your data? And so he talks about some of the S3 encryption options. And S3 we use all the time, and we throw things up there, but there's a lot of options and configuration, and S3 like encryption options are pretty powerful. And he goes through the managing the keys, but also how to do it in JavaScript. AWS Java SDK, not JavaScript. But so this blog series is really useful. He presented it into the box about S3 and sort of touched on a lot of these pieces pretty nicely. So if you guys were attending, you can check out that video. But these blog posts are great, and I loved his series last year. He had about 16 different blog posts, so I'm sure this one's going to be a nice, long, meaningful blog series. So really interesting. I wish I knew more about Amazon and S3 and everything. So.
I'm grateful for someone like Brian to tell me what I need to know when I need to know it, because there is so much to know in the Amazon developer ecosystem.
Yeah, I see all those people doing the free code camp who get their AWS certification. I'm like, I really want to do that, but I don't want to hurt my brain that much. So, pretty cool. So thanks, Brian, for that, and we look forward to the next one. So yeah, it was a pretty short week for blog posts this week, so that was it. And there was, a couple little tweets here and there, but basically everyone's just, I think, conferenced out and dockered out and ready for summertime. But let's look at the Find a Job section here.
Yeah.
So Get CFML Jobs website, which is built in ColdFusion and scrapes a lot of the major job sites, has 36 ColdFusion positions listed right now from 29 companies across 18 locations in 5 countries. And so this first job right here looks like they're looking for a full-time ColdFusion developer in Greenwood Village, Colorado. And then there's also a full-time ColdFusion development position remote in Greenwood Village.
It looks like the same place.
Oh, interesting.
So a developer and a data analyst.
So same places repeating. Okay, very cool. And so it looks like you just found another one pop up?
Yeah, just today there's a senior ColdFusion developer at Falls Church, Virginia.
Oh, very cool. And so 3 jobs there. And then I also saw one on Twitter, Jeff Stanislaw, looking for a skilled CF and MySQL web app developer, USA preferred, English speaking, able to interact with clients. And then basically we have a link there for that. So I'm kind of curious about his chief international marketer, maybe. Looks like his Twitter handle. I'll find out a little more about that, but we have the Twitter link there as well. So definitely check out getcfmljobs.com if you guys are looking, and they actually allow you to post jobs too if you're looking for someone to fill a spot. So definitely go check that out, and then we'll share that Twitter link as well for those in the live chat. Okay, so let's get on to the ForgeBox module of the week. So this one, I couldn't believe we hadn't talked about it yet, to be honest.
Right.
So
It's Fixinator by Pete Freitag, or Foundeo, his company. Fixinator is a module and a companion service that makes it easy to find and automatically fix security vulnerabilities in your CFML code. So the package on ForgeBox is a Commandbox command that lets you run Fixinator from the Commandbox client, talks to the service, it scans your code, and it will give you different things that could be security vulnerabilities, how confident it is, and can even give you options to fix it automatically.
and you know it's a great product because they have those animated GIFs inside the ForgeBox page. So it shows you how
That,
it
and it
actually
has
works.
awesome ASCII art in the Commandbox command.
That is cool too. But yeah, so this shows you how you can actually fix like a SQL injection, and it gives you different options when you're fixing, and then it can run the code again and find it, which is a pretty neat product. And they actually have a nice website which you can find out more about it. And Pete has talked about this a couple of different places now. Yeah, but he announced it, I think, into the box last year. And yeah, if you go to the site, they got the little helper bot here, so if you want to ask some questions. But yeah, the key features: auto fix, looks for known vulnerabilities. It's great with continuous integration. Detect vulnerabilities within your source code. It's configurable, and got great backdoor detection too for malicious CFML backdoors. So yeah.
One of my favorite things with Fixinator is you can set it up in your continuous integration pipeline. I believe Pete talks about that in his Into the Box video where he goes through continuous integration.
Yep.
But it can become one of those steps to check, like, okay, did the code I just write have any issues? And you don't have to run it locally every time. You'll just be notified when there's a problem. So it's really great. It isn't a free product, but it's well worth the money.
Yeah, for sure. And it's definitely a good one to have in your tool belt. And I can't believe how smooth it runs. And again, he wrote it with a Commandbox module, showing you that you can do all sorts of cool things with Commandbox. So, but definitely go check that out. And yeah, the Into the Box video, he definitely talks about some of that. And they have a lot of great security products available through Foundeos, so check them out as well. I mean, he's gotten most well known for the Hack My CF service that he had originally, where it would scan your server and look for vulnerabilities and check to see if it'd run all the updates and everything, and that sort of got him his title as CFML Security Expert. But Adobe Developer Week a couple weeks back, he scared the pants out of everybody, showing them how to make your secure code or your code a little more secure. So yeah, I definitely would check that out too if you can.
And you mentioned his other products, and along with Fixinator, if you go to the website, if you want to get all of the amazing Foundeo security products, there's some bundle prices as well. So
yeah,
so some good deals over there. Foundeo is awesome, and we love Fixinator.
yes, we do. Okay, now it's time for our VS Code, hence tips and tricks of the week. And this one was actually recommended by Luis Mahano. So this one is actually called the HTML CSS Support for VS Code. And so, as you can see here, this is what's missing from VS Code, they say. So this one here gives you options for class attribute completion, ID attribute completion, supports encoding completion for class and ID attributes, scans workplace folders for CSS and SCSS files, and supports remote CSS files too. So maybe you're pulling them in from a CDN or something like that. But it has support for a lot of languages, so it'll tie into Vue or HTML if you're using Laravel Blades or Twig or any of these different options. So it's pretty neat. It just gives you that really handy quick access for your CSS classes and IDs. So again, you can change the the file extensions you're using or whatnot, and it's pretty neat. They got a little control space, and then it'll give you an option for completing that. So It has almost 3.5 million installs and pretty good rating, so nice to see. And again, just one of those little things that you probably don't know you're missing, but once you start using it, you can't believe you didn't have it before. So, thanks, Luis, for that recommendation.
I had one I wanted to throw out there, Gavin, that I found recently with the Microsoft build that happened. I was introduced on Twitter to, I'm going to try to pronounce the name, Matt Berner. And every day he tweets out a VS Code tip. And actually, most of them are like settings. Some of them have been extended.
Very
so
cool.
If you can't get enough VS Code tips from us once a week, Matt's got your back.
Yep. And a lot of those settings and everything are really, really cool. They actually have, every time a VS Code update comes out too, they also have another little podcast that just sort of one-offs. They just do a little sort of, I guess, I don't even know, just a summary video of all the different things you can get. And a lot of them are just settings. They're not really extensions or plugins. They're just different changes to the core, or different little things you can do to make yourself more efficient. So, I like seeing the pop-up whenever VS Code opens of all the changes I've got in there. But someone basically goes through them, breaks them down, and does little YouTube videos on them as well. I don't remember who that was, though. It may be the same guy, or it may be someone else, but definitely pretty cool. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Eric. I appreciate it. I might go watch that video myself, or it might have been the one I watched, to be honest, because I did watch a couple of the build ones. So
right,
pretty cool. Okay. Well, this brings us to our Patreon supporters. So again, we want to thank Charlie Earhart for being our newest Patreon supporter. We got quite a pile of them looking now. So if we update the screen here, you can see, look at all those faces on the top of the video. So yeah, we got a lot of great supporters, and we want to thank everybody for helping us make this podcast, but also make our other open source products like Commandbox, ForgeBox, ColdBox, ContentBox, etc. Especially during these times where it's even harder to get client work and everyone's sort of on a bit of a slowdown. All this help does really help us keep those products moving. So we really do appreciate that. Okay, well, I want to thank all of you individually, so I'll go ahead and do that. So Ben Adel, Britt DeLine, Calvin Stanton, Charlie Earhart, Dali, Dan Card, Daniel Garcia, David Bellinger, Desdeal Nicky, Don Bellamy, Eric Hoffman, Gary Knight, Jan Yannick, Jeremy Adams, Jonas Erickson, Jordan Clark, Joseph Lamery, Kai Koenig, Lexmer Tidahadi, Matthew Clemente, Mingo Hagen, Ryan Hughes, Scott Steinbeck, Sean Oden, Stephen Klotz, Synaptrix, and Yogesh Mathur. So that list is getting pretty long. We're going to have to take a few more breaths next time. But that's okay. We want the list to be long, so if you guys
call it the Ortus Patreon Challenge, if you can get through all the names in one breath.
Yep.
So come on, folks. Make it harder for us. Get your name on there.
Yep. So patreon.com/Ortus Solutions. You can find out more about all the different packages we have. We got a selection there for, small and all the way through to large company support. And if you want to find out a little more about our other sponsors, you can go to ortussolutions.com/about-us/sponsors. And that there lists our Patreon supporters. We try and keep that updated as best we can. And Brad's asking, can we start calling the Patreon supporters groupies? Well, maybe we can call them boxers. Oh, that's our name. We'll have to think of it. What goes in a box?
Boxies.
Yeah.
Somebody earlier said cubies, which would be confusing because of the library, but would be really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we definitely appreciate all your help and support. It means a lot to us, and if those who aren't able to financially support us, we really appreciate, bug reports and pull requests and documentation updates, and we really appreciate all of it. Charlie says the loyal littles, a phrase that some may recognize. I'm not sure I know that one, but
yeah, I'm sorry, hold the blank.
Yeah, you'll have to explain that to us again later, Charlie. But we thank you everybody for tuning in, and I'll be actually on vacation for a couple of weeks here, all going well. So we'll have to see what happens. But hopefully Brad and the group can pick up where I left off. If not, we'll try and let you guys know. But yeah, you guys have a great week and be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Have a good one, everybody. Bye. Show notes for this episode can be found at cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io, where you can also subscribe to your favorite podcast player like Spotify or iTunes. We also have the link to YouTube to find more videos just like this. The music used in this podcast is under a royalty-free license from Sound.com and Blue Tree Audio.